Hold up, guys. Pi Network just dropped one of the biggest updates we've seen in years. And depending on how this plays out, it could either send Pi flying or drag it even lower. And yes, millions of tokens are about to unlock this month. That's massive. What's going on, crypto family? Welcome back to another episode of Gold Rush Crypto Daily. I'm your host, and today we're diving deep into Pi Network, one of the most controversial and talked about projects in the crypto space. I've got two articles here. One is covering Pi's v23.01 upgrade and a huge 159 million token unlock. The other is about Pi's brand new Onramp Money listing that gives users across 60 countries access to Pi using local payment methods. So, we're talking technology, tokenomics, adoption, and price speculation all in one. Stick with me because there's a lot to unpack. But first, if you're new here, hit that like button, smash subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss these daily deep dives. Alright, let's start with this first piece from Coindoo. The headline reads, Pi Network 2025 Update, Huge Mainnet News, Price Rumors, and What Every Pioneer Must Know. Coindoo usually covers crypto updates from a slightly bullish retail perspective, but they tend to mix in solid technical breakdowns too. Let's see how they frame this. The Pi Network community is buzzing again as the project enters September 2025 with some of its biggest technical and economic developments to date. v23.01 Protocol Upgrade. Liquidity event putting millions of tokens into circulation. Okay, that's a loaded start. They're saying this is both a technical and economic turning point. Anytime you combine a major upgrade with a token unlock, that's fireworks. Either a moonshot or a meltdown, no middle ground. Built on top of Stellar Core v23, 0.1, new security features like biometric logins, Linux node expansion, open source transparency, phased rollout across testnet and mainnet in early September. This is interesting. Pi is leaning heavily on Stellar tech. That's not bad, Stellar is proven, but it also shows Pi isn't fully reinventing the wheel. Biometric logins and stronger two-factor authentication? Good for retail users, but honestly, what really matters is this open source code reveal. That's credibility. If Pi actually open sources its stack, developers and institutions might finally take this project seriously. 159.5 million Pi tokens scheduled to unlock in September, gradual distribution through 2028 totaling 5.38 billion tokens. Whoa, 159.5 million tokens this month alone. That's not small. To put this in perspective, that's like dropping an entire mid-cap alt circulating supply on the market at once. Yes, it's daily unlocks, not a giant cliff drop, but still, that's constant sell pressure. Now their spin is that this prevents price shocks. True, but from a trader's point of view, this is death by 1,000 cuts. Every single day, new supply hits. Unless demand ramps up massively, the price ceiling stays heavy. Pi hovering near 35 cents, some think it's bottomed out, others fear 30 cents or lower. Alright, here's the million-dollar question. Has Pi bottomed? Personally, 33 cents. 0.35 does look like a strong support, but with this unlock coming, I'm cautious. Unless the upgrade hype translates into adoption, we might retest 30 cents easily. For bulls though, if Pi breaks 42 cents 0.45, you're looking at a clean path to 50 cents. But that resistance is going to be tough. Millions of early miners, upgrade shows Pi still investing. Token unlock ensures gradual maturity. This is the heart of it. For years, Pi users have been saying just wait until Mainnet. Well, this is that moment. But patience cuts both ways. Yes, you're finally seeing progress, but you're also finally seeing dilution. Bottom line, this month decides if Pi transitions from closed beta hype to real-world adoption, or if it stays a glorified mining app. So, to sum it up, Pi's v23.01 upgrade is legit, especially if the open source release happens. 159.5 million tokens unlocking is either healthy liquidity or a nightmare depending on demand. Price right now is at make-or-break levels, but wait, there's more. Let's see how the second article frames Pi's strategy with this new on-ramp listing. This second piece comes from CoinCentral. The headline, Pi Coin's market liquidity grows as Pi Network lists on Onramp Money. Interesting. This was published just days after the first article. So now we get to see how Pi's team is executing on adoption while all that token unlocking is happening. Pi Network officially listed on Onramp Money, expanding to 60+ countries. Users can buy with local payment methods like GC Cash, Maya, and Alipay. Now this is real-world accessibility. If you're in the Philippines, India, or China, being able to buy with local apps like GCash and Alipay is a game-changer. That's millions of potential retail users. Having support for local payment methods strengthens Pi's global reach. This is smart. Pi is focusing on regions where crypto adoption is grassroots and fiat ramps matter. Forget Coinbase and Binance. If Pi wins Asia and emerging markets, they'll have an ecosystem before the West even notices. Dr. Altcoin explains Pi isn't trying to flood CEXs, but is focusing on KYB-approved on-ramps for controlled distribution. Whoa, that's interesting. Controlled distribution through on-ramps instead of exchanges? That avoids pump and dumps. It's more sustainable. But also, it keeps Pi from exploding overnight. So if you're a trader, temper your moonshot dreams. Strategy focuses on utility, ecosystem engagement, compliance. Core team sees hybrid model as blueprint for mainstream adoption. Okay, I've got to admit, I like this angle. Most projects rush for exchange listings to chase hype. Pi is playing the long game, building infrastructure before speculation. But here's the catch. Will the community wait long enough? Retail wants green candles, not regulatory blueprints. So, Article 2 basically says, Pi is building access through fiat on-ramps, avoiding speculative chaos, and aiming for a slow burn of adoption. Great in theory, but it could mean years before serious price action. Alright, side by side. Article 1 is all about technical upgrades plus token unlocks. Short term, that's bearish pressure with bullish potential if the upgrade hype holds. Article 2 is all about controlled distribution plus fiat access. Long term, that's bullish fundamentals. But no guarantee of near-term pumps. Truth is probably somewhere in the middle. Pi will likely face short-term sell pressure around the 30 cents 0.33 zone, but if adoption ramps in those 60 countries, demand could eventually absorb supply. Personally, I'm cautious near-term. I'd wait to see if Pi can break above 42 cents resistance before calling a trend reversal. But I'm impressed by the on-ramp strategy. It's not sexy, but it's sustainable. Key things to watch. September token, unlock pace. Open source code release. On-ramp user growth metrics that will tell us whether Pi is just noise or quietly building something big. Bottom line, here are the 3 takeaways. 1. Pi's v23.01 upgrade is real progress, especially if open source comes through. 2. 159 million tokens unlocking in September, huge test for price stability. 3. The Onramp Money listing gives Pi real-world access in 60-plus countries, but this is a long-term play, not an overnight pump. What do you think, crypto family? Which article nailed it? Is Pi on the verge of adoption, or are we about to see another dip to 30 cents? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear your take. I'll be watching that 42 cents 0.45 resistance and monitoring the unlock schedule. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss updates because September could be make or break for Pi. And remember, this is just my opinion based on these articles and my analysis. This is not financial advice. Always do your own research and never invest more than you can afford to lose. The crypto market is highly volatile and unpredictable. Thanks for tuning in. This is Gold Rush Crypto Daily. I'll catch you tomorrow with more news and analysis. Stay safe out there.